Is your bank account ready for what's coming? The biggest shake-up to universal credit in years is about to hit, and it could put an extra £265 in your pocket. But here's the thing, not everyone knows if they'll qualify, and some might miss out completely. Stay tuned, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what this means for you and your family. Before we dive deep into these crucial changes, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss out on more updates about your benefits and money-saving tips that could literally put hundreds of pounds back in your pocket. Drop a pound in the comments if you're ready to learn about this game-changing update. Let's start with the question that's probably running through your mind right now. What exactly is this £265 boost all about? Well, the Department for Work and Pensions has just announced one of the most significant changes to universal credit since its introduction, and it's going to affect nearly 4 million households across the UK. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why some benefits changes seem to help certain people more than others? Or maybe you're questioning if this boost will actually make a real difference to your monthly budget. These are exactly the questions we're going to answer today. The heart of this change lies in the government's recognition that living costs have skyrocketed. We're talking about your energy bills, your weekly shop, and basically everything else that's been stretching your budget to its breaking point. This £265 annual boost works out to about £22 extra per month, and while that might not sound like a fortune, it could be the difference between making ends meet and falling short. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but who actually qualifies for this? This is where things get interesting. The 3.9 million households that are set to benefit include working families, single parents, and individuals who are currently receiving universal credit. But here's something crucial you need to know. This isn't just a blanket payment for everyone on universal credit. Let's break down the eligibility criteria, because this is where many people get confused. The boost is specifically targeted at what's called the work allowance. That's the amount you can earn before your universal credit starts to be reduced. If you're responsible for a child or have limited capability for work, this change is particularly relevant to you. But here's a question that might be nagging at you. What happens if your circumstances change during the year? Well, that's exactly why I'm making this video. The DWP has built in some flexibility to account for changing situations, but you need to know how to navigate the system to make sure you don't miss out. One of the most common questions I get asked is about timing. When exactly will these changes take effect? The implementation is set to roll out gradually, but you don't need to wait around wondering. There are steps you can take right now to make sure you're in the best position to benefit from these changes. Speaking of being prepared, let's talk about documentation. This is crucial, folks. The last thing you want is to miss out on this boost because your paperwork isn't in order. You'll need to ensure your Universal Credit Journal is up to date and that all your circumstances are correctly recorded. If anything's changed recently, whether it's your work hours, your living situation, or your health status, now is the time to update it. Here's something that often gets overlooked. This boost isn't just about the extra money. It's about understanding how to make the most of it. Have you thought about how this additional £265 could be used most effectively? Whether it's helping with rising energy costs, contributing to your emergency fund, or just making sure you can keep food on the table, having a plan is crucial. Let's address another important question. What if you're not currently receiving universal credit but think you might be eligible? This change might be the perfect time to check your eligibility. The criteria for universal credit can be complex, but with these new changes, more people might find it worthwhile to apply. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The impact of this boost isn't just about the immediate financial benefit. It's about the long-term effects on household stability. Think about it, an extra £22 a month might mean you can finally start that small emergency fund you've been putting off. Or maybe it's the difference between being able to afford your child's school supplies without going into debt. But let's be realistic for a moment. While £265 a year is certainly welcome, we need to talk about how to maximize this benefit. Have you considered combining this boost with other available support? There might be additional benefits or local support schemes you could be eligible for, and knowing how to access these could multiply the impact of this increase. This brings us to another crucial point, the importance of staying informed. The benefits system is constantly evolving, and changes like this one don't happen in isolation. What steps are you taking to stay updated about your entitlements? Following the right sources and knowing where to get accurate information can make a huge difference. Let's talk about some common misconceptions. I've heard people say things like, "Oh, This will affect my other benefits negatively. Or, it's not worth the hassle of updating my information. These kinds of myths can prevent people from getting the support they're entitled to. The truth is, this boost has been designed to complement existing support, not complicate it. Here's something that might surprise you. The timing of when you report changes can actually affect how much you receive. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to get more support than others in similar situations? Often, it comes down to knowing these little details about how the system works. One question that keeps coming up in my comments is about backdating. Can you get this boost backdated if you're eligible but haven't claimed yet? The answer isn't straightforward, but I'll explain exactly what you need to know and what steps you should take if you think you've missed out on payments you should have received. Now, let's discuss the practical side of things. How will you actually receive this boost? Will it be automatically added to your payments? Or do you need to take action? Understanding the mechanics of how these changes will be implemented is crucial for ensuring you don't miss out. This brings us to another important aspect: appeals and challenges. What can you do if you believe you should be eligible but aren't receiving the boost? Knowing your rights and the correct procedures for challenging decisions is essential. I'll walk you through the steps you need to take if you find yourself in this situation. Let's talk about the wider impact of these changes. Have you considered how this boost might affect other aspects of your financial situation? For example, could it change your tax credits or housing benefit? Understanding these interactions is crucial for making informed decisions about your finances. Here's something that often gets overlooked: the psychological impact of financial changes. Even a relatively small boost like this can provide some breathing room and reduce stress levels. Have you thought about how you might use this extra security to make positive changes in other areas of your life? Now, let's look at some real-world examples. I've been talking to families who will be affected by these changes, and their stories might help you understand how this could work in your situation. Every case is different, but there are common threads that we can all learn from. One particularly important aspect we need to discuss is the impact on different household types. Single parents, couples with children, those with disabilities. Each situation brings its own considerations. Understanding how the boost applies to your specific circumstances is crucial for maximizing its benefits. Let's address another common concern. What happens if your income fluctuates? Many people working variable hours or zero-hour contracts worry about how changes like this will affect them. I'll explain exactly how the system accounts for these variations and what you need to do to ensure you're getting the right amount. This brings us to an often overlooked aspect: future planning. How can you use this boost as part of a longer-term financial strategy? Whether it's building savings, reducing debt, or investing in something that could improve your earning potential, having a plan can help you make the most of this additional support. As we wrap up, let's recap the key points about this £265 boost. Remember, this isn't just about the money, it's about understanding your entitlements and making sure you're in the best position to benefit from them. Have you thought about how you use this extra support? What steps will you take to ensure you don't miss out? I want to hear from you in the comments below. Are you eligible for this boost? How do you plan to use it? Share your thoughts and experiences. Your insight might help someone else in a similar situation. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might benefit from knowing about these changes. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and click the bell icon to stay updated with more videos about benefits, money-saving tips, and financial updates that could help you make the most of your money. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your finances. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.